सान्द्रानन्दावबोधात्मकमनुपमितं कालदेशावदिभ्या निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनः उरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावत् भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानाम् अग्रे पश्यामि तेजो निबिडतरकला यावली लोभनीयं पीयूषाप्लावितोऽहं तदुतरे दिव्यकैशोरवेशं तारुण्यारम्भरम्यं परमसुखरसास्वाद रोमाञ्चिताङ्गैः आवीतं नारदाद्यैः विलसदुपनिषत् सुन्दरी मण्डलैश्च
गुरुपवनपुरे हन्तभाग्यं जनानाम्. Namaskar. Through Swayambhuva Manu came the son Priyavrata. From him Agnidhra, and from Agnidhra we saw Nabhi. So we have been seeing one lineage, and through Nabhi came Bhagavan's Amshavataram called as Rishabha Natha. What was the greatness of Rishabha Natha? We saw, looking at his qualities, his virtues, his method of administration, and above all, the prosperity with which Ajanabhavarsha, the geography where he was ruling, was prosperous. Indra got extremely jealous, and as Indra got jealous, he ensured that there were no rains. On the other hand, Rishabhanatha, through his very yoga shakti, was able to bring rains to that region. This continued in a fight between Rishabhanatha, his set of ministers and army, with Indra, and Indra had to lose. So as a mark of his defeat at the hands of Rishabhanatha, he gives away his daughter Jayanti in marriage. From here is where Bhaṭṭatiri continues. Jitendra dattam kamanim jayantim athodvahan atmarata shayopi ajijanastattra shatam tanujan yesham kshitisho bharatograjanma athatvam api atmaratashayah. So what he says is, though he was extremely thinking of Parabrahman's qualities, because he is an Amshavatara, he has to meditate upon Parabrahman. Udvahan jayantim kamanim. But for Prajotpatti, for the sake of again following Dharma Shastras, he married Indra's daughter Jayanti, Kamani, very beautiful. Jitendra Dattam. Who was she given in marriage to? Rishabhanatha, by whom? Her very father Indra. Jitendra Dattam Ajijanaha. She was given thereby in marriage, and thereby Ajijanaha. Through her, Rishabhanatha got Tatra Shatam Tanujan. He got 100 sons. Agrajanma Yesham. The eldest of whom was Bharataha Kshitishaha. The eldest of them was Bharata. The oldest of them was Bharata. Bharataha Kshitishaha, who became a king. So he got thereby a son, the eldest of the sons, called Bharata. This Bharata is extremely important for us, because in Jada Bharata Charitram, it is this Bharata who later becomes a deer, again who later becomes a Jada, who does Upadesham to Rahuguna Maharaja of Sindhu Sauvira Pradesham, on the banks of Ikshumati when he was on a sojourn to meet Kapila in his Kapilashrama. So this Bharata is extremely important 2 janmas later. But let's now continue with Rishabhanatha himself. Nava bhavan yogi vara navanye tvapalayan Bharata varsha khandan Saikatva stavashesha putra stavobala dhusura bhuyamiyuhu. Nava abhavan yogi varaha. 9 of them became celebrated yogis. Of the 100, the first was Bharata. 9 of them became yogis. Anye navatu apalayan. Then the other 9 ruled Bharata Varsha Khandan. They ruled different parts of Bharata Varsham. Tava Sheshaputraha Saika Ashitihi. Then the remaining sons. So we have 9 who ruled the continents, 9 who became yogis. So 9 plus 9, 18. The oldest of them, the eldest of all of them was Bharata. So 19. What happened to that 81? He says, Tava Sheshaputraha Saika Ashitihi. Ashiti, 80. Saika Ashitihi, 81 sons. What happened to them? Itu Iyuhu Bhusura Bhuyam. So they all, through their tapobalam, tapashakti, they all became greatest of they attained the status of Brahmanas. Bhusura Bhuyam tapobalat. Through what? Through their tapasya, austerities. So Bharata is described as the eldest. Then comes the Navayogis. Then come the Nava sons, 9 sons who ruled the different parts of Bharata Varsham. And then finally come 81 who through their tapasya attained the status of a Brahmana. Then comes the next shloka. Uktva sutebhyotha munindra madhye virakti bhakyanvita mukti margam swayam gatah paramahamsya vrittim adha jadonmatta pishachacharyam athatvam uktva sutebhyaha. Thereby, Rishabhanatha, you, Krishna, who came as an Amshavatara as Rishabhanatha, you advised, you instructed your sons, Uktva Sutebhyaha Virakti Bhaktyanvita Muktimargam Munindra Madhye. Amidst the big assembly, conglomeration or a conglomerate or a congregation of Munindra Madhye of Munis, what did you give them advice and instructions of? Virakti, how to live with Vairagya, Bhakti, alongside combining it with Bhakti Marga, then Mukti Marga, thereby reaching Parabrahman Narayana. Whatever are the steps there, you advise them. Gataha, after having advised, Gataha, you went away. Swayam, you took to that. Paramahamsya Vrittim Adhaha. You lived the life of a Paramahamsa. Hamsa is believed to be a mystic bird that has the ability to separate water from milk. So when it has the ability to separate water from milk, of course you can ask, show me a Hamsa bird. I may not be able to show you immediately. But the beauty is this bird's quality was seen in great preceptors because they can differentiate from what is good from what is bad. Asaram, alpasaram cha, saram, sarataram tyajet. So there is always this thing of leaving. So then what is so important? He says, Paramahamsya vrittim adhaha. Thereby he assumed. What role did he assume? As that of a Paramahamsa. Paramahamsa, there was a great Acharya Varya called Sadashiva Brahmendra in Dakshina Bharatam. He has written a plenty of kritis, compositions, kirtana, on Bhagavan. So his mudra itself is Paramahamsa. Paramahamsa krita chandra chakore paripurita murali navadhare manasa sancharare brahmani manasa sancharare Parama Hamsakrita Chandra Chakore, Paramahamsyam, Samhitayam. So Paramahamsa is a word that is often used in Sanatana Dharma. So he lived the life of a Paramahamsa, Jada, Unmatta, Pishacha Charyam. But when such Avadhutas live a very simple, pristine life, to people like us who may not be so adept enough to understand, it may seem that they are living the life of a jada, that which is like, has no emotions, unmatta, mad person, retarded person, pishacha, as a ghost. So, to us it may seem like that, but for him it is not like that. See, many of the acharyas who lived, let's take even Ramana Maharishi who lived in Tiruvannamalai. So it was very tough for a first time person to understand what he was telling, what kind of things does he preach. But when devotees get involved in his lifestyle, they will know what kind of a great personality he was. So was another person called Yogi Ram Surat Kumar in Tiruvannamalai who lived the life like an Avadhuta. So it was very tough for people to understand the sayings and the teachings of such people. So was Rishabha Jada Unmatta Pishachacharyam, says Bhaṭṭatiri in this particular shloka. Paratma bhutopi paropadesham kurvan bhavan sarva nirasyamanaha vikarahino vichachara kritsnam mahim ahinatma rasabhilinaha bhavan paratma bhutaha api. Though he attained, he knew what kind of qualities he imbibed and what kind of an Amshavatara he was. Vichachara kritsnam mahim. He went, roamed about the entire earth. Vichachara kritsnam. Just thinking, he just roamed about the earth. Then, kurvan paropadesham. He was teaching Atma Sakshatkaram, Paramatma Sakshatkaram, all this to whichever devotee he met. Then, sarva nirasyamanaha. But how much ever he taught, people would always do tiraskaram of him. What is he teaching? Waste. Is he mad? Is he retarded? And despite all of this, he kept on teaching sarva nirasyamanaha vikarahinaha, without any change to your natural disposition. Ahina atmarasa abhilinaha. Though you were completely involved in that Atma Gunam, Atmanubhavam, and then later Paramatmanubhavam, abhilinaha. Shayuvratam gomrigakakacharyam chirancharanavapya param swarupam davahritangaha kutakachaletvam tapan mamapa kuruvatanatha charam chiram shayuvratam. So for a long time he lived a life like a python. A python, the snake, doesn't go place after place like other snakes. It will stay in one place, whatever food comes, it will take. Then it will stay in that same place for some time. Shayuvratam, go mriga kakacharyam. Then he adopted some qualities of go, pashu, mriga, go mriga, then kakacharyam, crows, and then cows. So go, mriga, other animals, kakacharyam as that of crows, apyaswarupam param. Then attained that particular sayujam with Parabrahman. Tvam abhuhu davahritangaha. Thereby that material body was led to the forest. Which forest? Davahritangaha. There was forest fire. Where? Which forest? Kutakachale. Kutakachale is the current day Kodagu or Coorg. We call it Kodagu in Karnataka. It is called Coorg. So that is where he left his body. Kutakachale he vatanatha apakuru mamatapan. Apakuru. You have done so much for the other avatars and pastimes. Why don't you remove my ailments as well? Please make note. This Rishabha whom we observe, who came to Kutakachalam, is believed to be the first Tirthankara in Jainism. In Jaina Matam, there are 24 Tirthankaras, the last of which is Mahavira. The first is Rishabha. So, how do we believe that Rishabha of Jaina Matam, in their Adi Purana who's mentioned, is the same as Rishabha here? Because if you go to some of the ancient temples of Rishabha and rock-cut caves, in temples like Dilwara temples in Rajasthan, you will see Rishabha with a kaustubham in the heart. So that proves he is an Amshavatara of Bhagavan, whom the Jainas revere, the Jains revere as their first Tirthankara.
कल्याणरूपाय कलौ जनानां कल्याणदात्रे करुणासुधाब्दे कंवादिदिव्यायुधसत्कराय वातालयाधीश नमो नमस्ते। नारायण 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 नारायण।